Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here, and we are on day 2 of the Tantalizing Tabletoppers book tour, which is virtual, so all of you can come anytime you want. In your PJs at 12 o'clock at night, you can join in. So we have 2 more stops today on the tour, but first in all of its glory, I decided to hang up Karen Griska's red zinger that she's lent me so that we can see it. Yes, just have to take a look at it, you know, every so often while it's visiting me. So there you go. I still have to make a block while it's here before I send it back to her. So on day 1, we visited 3 people, and I just want to show you a peek at each of their projects. So if you're just catching on, you can go back. Each tour spot you could enter to win my book. And if you're in the US, it will be a hard copy, which I'll sign. And if you are outside of the United States, it will be a digital copy. So first we went to Martingale, and yesterday I didn't know which person was actually making the project, and it was Lisa. And Lisa, they all quilt, so I could have been anybody on the staff who actually made the project, but it was Lisa, and she used her darling little featherweight, which several of you noted, including Kathy, who's our ambassador, because she just got a featherweight, so she's got eagle eyes for them. Then we also had Bonnie Hunter's stop, and I'm sure you were all probably just as delighted as I was to see that she used a piece of my fabric in her project that she didn't even know was mine until she showed me a sneak peek. So that was super fun. It's one of my older lines. And then we saw Andy's project, and I love that fabric. That is such a cool fabric that she used. And that I want that globe now that she has in her picture. Okay, so today we have 2 stops. Yes, it's going to be good. So first, let's talk about my buddy Becky Thompson at Power Tools with Thread. So Becky is all about the power and all about the tools. Becky's a YouTuber, and we got to be friends via YouTube, which is really, really cool. And when she started, chatting with me, it was so fun to see her projects and to see how excited she is about the different tools that we quilters have available to us. She really likes to do everything sort of the electronic way. So if you can die cut it, if you can embroider it, if you can just put some power in there, Becky's your person to go to. And she has excellent videos where she goes through and walks you through how to do things. So if you've got one of those die cut machines, not like my AccuQuilt, but the more electronic ones, and you're trying to sort of figure them out, look at Becky's channel. She's probably addressed it. She does long arming. There's all kinds of fun. She's gone on tours and with her husband and their camper and taken you along. So there's all kinds of fun things that go on over at her channel, including this amazing featherweight she was gifted by one of her followers. Isn't that incredible? Oh my goodness. I just saw that and I thought, oh, that is such a cool gift. So you're going to visit Becky today, and she's going to show you some of the projects that she did from my book. Okay, then you're going to go over to Bev's. It's a bee day. Becky and Bev. So Bev McCulloch of Flamingo Toes, and I'm showing Bev's things all the time. Bev and I have been buddies for way many years, and I love all the things she does. I love her fabrics. I love the books that she does with Martingale, and all of the little tools that she started making. So let me just show you a few of those because you've seen them, but now you'll have a face and a person to go with that. So like Bev's designed this incredible, like the flamingo turner. She also has all of these super cute needle minders. So all the really, really cute ones are Bev's. Plus some of those she's made into the zipper pull. So like the little building. So what is that one? That's an antique building, but I think one of theirs, she had a quilt shop. Is this one? Yeah, there's the quilt store one. And then she also, here's the camper. So there's the camper. She also did the little kitty pins. So cute. So Bev, you're going to stop over there, and her project is beautiful. She's using her brand new fabric line, which is called Enchanted Meadow, and it is stunning. It is stunning. So you're going to have fun over there. Good. Okay, so today on the tour, you can leave comments. You can start to follow them. If you're on Instagram, they're on, I think everybody here is on Instagram. So those of you who like that place, you'll be able to follow all them and have new beautiful pictures and inspiration all the time. Okay, so yesterday I also messed up. I messed up and talked all about two people's quilts and didn't show the quilts, because I am the person who writes what I'm going to say. I have to haul everything out, set it all up, do all the camera work, do all the talking, the making. Then I have to edit the video. So sometimes I edit the video, I produce the video, I upload it, I do everything. So sometimes I miss something. There's a lot with getting photos in for this week of the tour, and I forgot to pull the photos in. I did put them at my website. For those of you who didn't end up going to my website, why didn't you? First of all, why didn't you? But if you didn't, here are the two quilts. So first, let me get their names right. We have Elaine's Houses, and I will link you to the stuff at my website today. And you should be getting emails. If you sign up for the email, you'll get an email. So this is Elaine's Houses. It's the combination of two things. And then here's Gail's Scrappy, I'm losing the words here. Scrappy Little Wishes, yes. So I talked all about them yesterday. But now, so since I'm doing those two pictures, let me show you two others. And let me get this, because these ones are a tip. They're tips that have to do with design walls, which this is what this is. Mine is a design wall up there. So these are two tips people have that don't have a place to put a permanent design wall like mine. So Judy did on like a cabinet, the front of a cabinet, that she has some doors here, you can see. Let me pop the picture up. And she used command hooks, a dowel rod, and some curtain clips. And she was able to hang some pieces that she was working on. You could hang a piece of flannel on there and pin your things to it. So you can be creative. And the other one was Nora. And so Nora has this folding screen, and she ends up, pinning onto that. Now, the folding screen one really could be taken up a notch, because you could get some like poster board, wrap it with a bit of batting or flannel, and then your things will stick to it and it'll be nice and firm, rather than a curtain that's shifty like that. You could actually put some sort of poster board on both sides of that folding screen. Also remember, now we're on design walls, and I do have a video on that. These pieces of wood, these pieces of foam that are insulation foam for your home, when I didn't have them mounted to my wall for years and years and years, they're very light. So I just stood them up in front of the bookcase, and they were rotated this way at that time, and I just stood them up in front of the bookcase, and when I had to get in the bookcase, I could just move them. They were perfect, and they don't take up any really room, as long as you have something you can put them in front of. Okay, so that's a little design wall distraction. Yes. All right, so what are a couple other things? There was a, what am I going to call that? Oh, yeah, it's an article. There we go. There's the word. So another thing I want to share with you, if you didn't see this the other day, if you're not following Aurifil Thread, they did a feature on me and talked about, whoops, I gotta get it. Talked about my new thread box. Isn't that nice? So there you go. Here's the quote on the back. So I love doing this box with them. I have a bigger box with these colors, but I'm just gonna get them all out in my hand here. So here we go. Here's the colors in the thread box. You've got all these sort of beautiful, yummy colors that go with a lot of things that you make, and so you can get just this nice variety pack in my kit. So, and they did a nice little article. So that's linked down below and at my website today. Okay, so I had a couple of Q&As, and then I want to end this with our sew along for the book. I've got all the info now for the sew along for the book, but first let me do a couple of Q&As, because I've been collecting them and I have a whole stack of them, which means we need to talk about a few of them. So Scoots 1950, it's here these are all left here at YouTube. says, when you change sewing projects, do you change thread color? And what color of thread do I mostly use for piecing? So mostly I use a lot of gray, and I use a lot of lights, and there's also like a tan that I use. These are kind of my primary ones. I don't see the tan under there. Oh wait, there we go. Whoop. So these are kind of my primary colors. Here we go. Sort of tans, lights, whites. And if I were doing a quilt with all darks, I'd probably use maybe navy or whatever color works for that. But do I change them? Yeah, I mean, if I have to. If the color will work, I don't change it. Do I use other colors? Yeah, heck yeah. I use all kinds of colors. So here you can see. Now here's a bobbins, so those colors I will use. I will piece with pink, I will piece with light green. I mean, if I've got a little bit of a spool that's not quite finished off, I will just pop it in there and use it. I will use for piecing the different color in the top and in the bottom. You know, so the bobbin could have, let's say, this orange, but on the top I might have, you know, dark pink or red. I mean, I will just mix it up. For piecing, I'm not that concerned. You know, they don't have to be exactly the same. They're all Aurifil thread, so the same manufacturer, same weight of thread, but I will mix up the colors. So you can get this box of colors and try that out. There you go. So Trish asked, when I was starching the fabric for like the Midnight Moon, I talked about that the other day. I guess I didn't make it totally obvious that I was starching all the fabric to make the block. So when I was doing that particular block that I starched the background, I starched all the black fabric, all the gray fabric, all the orange fabric. So she wondered whether I was just starching one piece and not the others. No, I don't think that's very effective. If you have some starched and some not, they're kind of out of balance. So you want to keep everything in balance texture wise. Okay, SL asked, when I start a project, do you buy your pattern first or your material first? And how often? Okay, so that's one question. Do I buy my pattern first or buy material first? Well, if I'm designing the pattern, so that will be what's happening. Usually I'm designing a pattern and then I put fabric to it. Let's say when I'm doing the book like this, Tantalizing Table Toppers. But there are times for this book where I might have a bundle of fabric and I'm like, okay, I want to use this fabric and I need to design something for it. So in that case, I have the fabric first and I design a pattern to use the fabric. So it can go both ways. If I'm purchasing or using a friend's pattern, it's always the pattern. Always the pattern, because that's what I saw. I saw the pattern. Let's say Wendy Shepherd's elephants that we did. Well, she did the elephants on my fabric tour, and I'm like, okay, I want to make the elephants. You know, I didn't have some fabric and go looking and find her elephant quilt. My brain doesn't work that way. So I tend to more, you know, for other people's, it's their pattern that I see, and then I want to make it. So I hope that helps. Let's see, and we'll do the other one that she has on here is, how often do I clean and reorganize my space? Okay, so if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that this happens quite regularly, but never on a schedule. I don't have any kind of schedule. It's just more when things kind of start building up or when projects finish. So when projects finish, that usually starts a wave of having to reorganize things. But I would say I do this, you know, at least every 2 months. There's, you know, something that has to be sort of a little bit more major reorg than just putting away one pile of fabric. I have to clear things out or shift things around. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up before you go and on the tour today. Is, ta-da, at my website today, I have the layout for our sew along for the Tantalizing Table Toppers. So we're going to create a sampler, and let me show you the back page. So the sampler will have parts of different projects from the book. So this is similar to what we did with Happy Everything with my previous book. So there's different parts. The layout and the pattern shows you the order we'll be working. There will be 4 bonus blocks to go along with this sew along. So that means, you know, you do have to have the book in order to sew this. And then to make it fun, there'll be 4 mystery blocks. And you don't really know what part of the project. You might be able to guess on a lot of these, but you don't really know until we start what part of the project will go into the sampler. So it'll be super fun. It's 65 by 73, which is about the same size as the Happy Everything. You can leave the border off, which will give you a little bit smaller quilt. There it is. So without its, you know, so there it is. If you just put the little tiny border, you don't need to have a bigger border. And that might work for those of you who totally want to use your scraps. And then that way you can just, you know, figure out, you know, as you go, kind of go along. But there is a background, and I decided that about 20 fat quarters will work for this. It's a very, very similar concept of what we did for Happy Everything. So I'm hoping that you love this and want to sew along now that you have the book, because it's a fun way to actually do a piece of everything in the book. In every single project, you'll do something from it, and then you get a feel for whether you want to make the whole project or not. So that's super cool. Okay, you're going to go out and tour today with Becky Thompson at Power Tools with Thread, and check out her videos at her YouTube channel, and Bev McCulloch at Flamingo Toes, and she also has a YouTube channel. So since you're here on YouTube with me, I assume you like to watch videos, so you want to go check them all out. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.